Hello, welcome to the Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. It's the Age of Sigmar Monday show, where me and some of my friends, and this time I've actually got a friend on the Age of Sigmar Monday show, which is great, talk about Age of Sigmar. Today's show, we'll be talking about the new Seraphon, which has been announced, and we're also going to be talking to Nathan Prescott about how to win a tournament with Gitz. Yeah? Or go 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah.
That one. The other one, you just have to be lucky. You have to rely on your opponent to roll a double one, probably.
Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. Hello, and so hello, welcome if you are listening. Thanks for joining us. And so we obviously joined by the Twitch chat. Nathan, before we kick us off, how you doing, bud? How are you? Well?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, nothing. No bad consequences from the weekend, like health-wise. So yeah, good.
Wait, are you suspiciously being followed by a man in a suit now, though?
Maybe. Oh, somebody's trying to phone me. Cool.
It's not helpful, is it? Show title, Nathan Gets Good. If Gitly, if you don't mind me using that, I will use it. Thanks.
Yeah.
So Nathan was at the Sheffield Slaughter the weekend, so at an event. So get prepared. Prepare yourself for a Nathan Prescott battle report. Nathan, I know you've obviously been at the Sheffield Slaughter, but other than that, did you happen to do any hobby this week?
Yeah, I finished painting a squig boss that I got the new fellow with the moustaches. So yeah, I trimmed my beard to sort of match as best as I could, and then what else did I do? And I've started painting the Loon Court as well. So I had it gifted to me a while ago, and I had built it and undercoated, base coated it. Not base coated, whatever the fuck, undercoated. That's the word.
Dry brushed it.
Yeah, now I've dry brushed it and started painting it. Yeah.
Yeah. What have you done? A grisaille? A grisaille?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I've been doing.
Oh,
grisailing
nice.
away.
I love it. Yeah, I love a good grisaille. Yeah. Grisaille with Vallejo. It's perfect. Yeah. Oh, a massive shout out to Mike Vaginos in the chat for resubscribing. Fucking love that guy. Thanks very much for resubscribing. I didn't even know you'd subscribe once, let alone for 8 months. It's kind of made my heart flutter. What a great human being. Nathan Gets Good, sponsored by the Beast of Chaos faction chat. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you painted up some stuff. Off the back of the weekend, just because this is the hobby section, is there anything you're thinking of adding to the paint queue?
I've got loads of stuff for the army. What have I got not painted? Well, other than I'm going to finish Grin Crack, whatever his name is, and his Loon Court.
Grin Crack?
Yeah, Grin Crack. And then I've got all the rest of the stuff is pretty much done. The Spider Riders are done. Oh, I need to finish another Arachnarok at some point, so I might do that. Yeah.
We've got some questions in the chat.
That's not based from the weekend. That's just from the weekend. What would I build and paint?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Squig Hoppers are pretty good. I've got 20. I think that's probably enough. Maybe another 10 of them. But
you get 10 more Squig Hoppers.
Yeah, maybe some more Squig Hoppers. But no, I think I'm happy with a block with the 20 I've got. So yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
You don't feel like you need more?
No.
Also, you would have to think up 10 more names.
Yeah, that would be 10 more hippity hopper names.
Have you got a favourite Squig Hopper?
Yeah. Where are they? Are they downstairs?
This is going to take... I've completely forgotten to get myself something to hobby with as I listen. This is a fucking disaster. Right, okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, okay. Nice T-shirt, by the way. Where'd you get it?
I got it from the Honest Wargamer HQ.
Yes, website. Excellent. That's correct.
Yeah,
good. Nice T-shirt. I'm doing the other one. So fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Podcast listeners, you're listening to two grown men in T-shirts talk about their clothes. Anyway,
I got a T-shirt.
I did some hobby this week, if you're interested.
Yeah. Tell us.
I printed out 80 wardens.
Ward. Oh yeah, those Teklican little fellas.
Yeah, but I
what are they
printed them.
called? Light elves, Lumineth.
Yeah. I printed them though, so I haven't actually. Thanks, Dan Don't, for resubscribing. I printed them, and then what else? And then I just like kind of cut them up a little bit and stuck them on some bases. DeBrock Paints, thanks for gifting a gift subscription in the chat. That's cool. So yeah, 80's quite a lot to do on the printers, but like they would be quite a lot to build. But so like 80 off a printer takes it took me about, I don't know, 2 days to print 80. And it cost.
But you were doing other stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, like that was just. Oh no! So when you take the supports off, it's kind of interesting. Like when you 3D print stuff, if you're doing like ogre size stuff, which I've also done an ogre army, because Claybee's Creation gave me some amazing files for those. Then they're kind of perfect because the supports just kind of pull off. You don't have to do much. But on the slightly smaller sculpts, like obviously something like an elf.
A very delicate little elf.
Yeah, they're a little bit delicate. So when you take the supports off, sometimes you've got like a mold line removal. Not as bad as actually mold line removing, but like a little bit. So I did that. So I've got the 80 Wardens done now, which is fun. So because I'm going to build myself like a techless combat army, which actually ended up going 5-0 today at an event randomly, and I was like, this thing, that's what I was going to do. So I loved that.
Cool.
So yeah, that's all the hobby I've done. I haven't. Oh, and I finished off the Carriage and Overlords board, fully painted now.
Oh, nice, nice. In time for the KO book, whenever that is.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly. So that's fully painted now as well, which has been really, really fun. I might do some tufts on the bases. I don't know if that's a bit too decadent.
Oof.
Yeah, I know, right? Oof. Yes. Yeah. Whoa! Whoa! Spending money on tufts. So I might do that, and then I kind of want to get the airbrush out and do some OSL.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And then do some because there's some on the buildings there's these little lamps, and I thought doing a little of yellow, or paint it with my feet and make big Patreon money.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
The toe painting, nice.
Bit of toe painting, exactly. Right. Anyway, talking about toe painting, should we talk about new Seraphon?
Yeah.
Do you fancy it?
Well, there's still new Seraphon news.
There is. It actually just happened today. So today they've showcased a new unit and the rules. So immolate your enemies with the sizzling Seraphon spawn of Kotek.
Oh yeah. Or the salamanders then.
They are salamanders. Found in the most volcanic regions of the mortal realms, and hence all over Ashki. Where they're often hunted by fire slayers, the spawn of Chodak are fire-spitting salamanders, which the Seraphon revere as the offspring of the sun god himself. Now, I don't know about you. Can you see these live?
I can. On a small screen. Let me open the.
Well, I'm just gonna start with. I don't think they look as good as the current models. So.
That's harsh. Right, I need to open these then. Come on, open up, you stupid computer machine. Hot off the press.
This is a major issue. No, obviously.
That is harsh.
That is harsh. Obviously, no, that's a joke. It looks great. It looks really good, yeah?
Sure.
No, you don't think it looks good? Tell me what your thoughts are.
Why's it got big flappy things on it?
Well, it's actually, so the version of Salamander, not the one that's currently out, disgusting, but the one previous to that, they look a lot like that.
Oh.
So like the Gen 1, so Nikos had a Gen 1 salamander army, loads of salamanders.
Oh, yeah.
And they have those big fins, which is quite cool. I mean, literally anything is better than the last salamander, which looks like Play-Doh. But, I think this looks legit. I much prefer these to the new bird things that they've got coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
No, I would probably model it without those things.
Without the fins?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, how come?
I just think they look more badass without those weird flappy things on them.
Oh, yeah, I guess it does. It would slow them down a bit. If there's a strong crosswind, what are they going to do?
Fall over. Yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. I don't know. It just looks like a cool crocodile thing, and then somebody's just stuck something on.
Okay.
Like if you put your thumb over the picture where you don't see the weird head thing and the thing under, that is a cool looking crocodile beast.
Oh, so you think it just would have been a cool croc, no fin needed?
Yeah, that's my opinion. But there we go.
That's fair. Okay, so there's also skink handlers that come with it as well, and they're very specific skink handlers. There's some story to it. The Sun Acolytes, who handle the sour-tempered salamanders, are marked for their duty from birth. When the stars flare and the spawning pools boil, the skinks who emerge are blessed with incredible resistance to heat, as well as frills that resemble Chodek's own sunburst. Okay?
Oh,
Yeah. In between burning sacrificial victims alive, the disciples are tasked with raising salamanders, then sedating them with crawtoad venom and fitting Old One technology into their skulls. These precious relics allow the Sun Acolytes to direct their choleric charges with light-emitting staves. So they've not necessarily not talked about the old ones before, because the new Seraphon book definitely has a lot of mentions of it. But to the point of producing new relics, technological relics that they implant. This is pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. So they've got dog collars on their salamanders.
They've got
remote
brain
control
implants.
Yeah. They're from that old film Cyborg or something, was it? Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god, you've seen a film. Please tell me more. Which film? Was it Ant-Man 1 or 2?
Fuck, no, I can't remember what it was called. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. Delete that bit of the film.
Delete that bit of the video. Don't worry, I'll go back and edit it, I promise.
Yeah.
Right. Was Nathan in this film? Were you in the film? Are you talking about RoboCop?
Oh, yeah, well, no, I wasn't, but that is a bit more like what they got there.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Are you talking about the
that
bit
sort
where
of
they
era.
have...
That sort of era.
Yeah.
But maybe it was not a real film. Maybe I made it up.
No, it probably was a film, mate. I believe it was a film. Right, in between burning sacrificial victims alive, these disciples are tasked with raising salamanders. So yeah, they've got those little technology bits in their head. There's also an alternate version, interestingly, that's all blue. When a skink handler marks a foe with a dot of ruby tinted light, so the skink handlers have got some sort of one of them's got a laser pointer, and then the other one's got two little pokers that they poke up its butt. So he's so the one guy does literally a laser pointer. A spawn of Chotek hawks a vicious gob of flame acid at the target.
So if you can pick out the dude with the laser pointer, then they can't shoot anything? Is that right?
Correct. That's actually the rules. Well done.
Cool.
So you put them in your pants.
Yeah. Sweet. Ale guzzlers back on the table.
Let's go. The insurance splatter not only ignites immediately, it's caustic enough to leave victims vulnerable to further attacks. And we've got some rules.
Oh, that sounds like a vomit rule to me.
Yeah.
Go on then.
So the new salamander shoots 24 inches.
Bloody hell, that's not like a vomit rule. That's far.
That is far. That's a big gob. Well, we do know that the Seraphon have always had particularly big lung capacity. Is it their blow darts can shoot longer than even some crossbows?
Yeah.
So
it's amazing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hello to the rogue in the chat, big fan. So it shoots 24 inches. Only one attack though. So fans of salamanders, sad to hear. Everyone else, joyous to hear. Hits on a 4. Fantastic news.
That's good. That laser fucking guidance system's not that good then.
Maybe just the salamander's really terrible at gobbing stuff at 24 inches. But
he's got a fucking implant in his brain. He's probably dribbling all over the place.
I love that in your canon now they've lobotomized them. That's great. Right? Hits on a 4. Wounds on a 2, though. Big ball of fire.
Yeah.
Ren 2.
Yeah.
D6
damage.
damage. However, if any wounds are caused by an attack's made with a glob of flame, can we talk about the name? A glob of flame acid.
Yeah. That's all. They just thought of cool words and glob and put them all together.
They're like, what is it? Wow, we don't want it to be like a. Don't make it like an actual breath of fire. Okay, all right. So glob. What about glob? Yes, sold. SEO baby. That's correct. Yeah. This is the Chat GPT of naming stuff. There's going to be on a new microsite anytime soon, the Glob of Fire microsite. Anyway, but if you do end up wounding someone with one of these attacks, then -1 to their save until the end of that turn. But you can't do it with multiple globs. So you can't double down on a glob. You can only have a solo glob affect you.
Fair play. Oh well, yeah. Having played with vomit attacks, I'm pro spitting on people with stuff, so that's great. Or vomiting or globbing on people. So go for it, little salamander. Little brainless salamander, go for it.
You got this, you poor bastard. Salamanders, rise up, free yourself from your chains. That's not the only trick, though. Foes who stray too close may find out what happens when skinks feed their salamanders some tasty emberstone treats. So there might be a way of like buffing them up. We don't know, obviously. As someone said in the chat, obviously having a purple sun nearby means that one salamander plus a purple sun means you can make a unit have -2 to their save. So that's pretty powerful, right?
Yeah.
Pretty powerful. That's
I've
pretty
been
powerful.
doing that on the weekends or something else, but something like that. It's great.
I'm glad you said that quietly because you're talking way too quiet for that to have been picked up on. So that's great. Love that.
Yeah.
Right, seize the means of glob production, exactly. All right, so that's everything, Nath. That's all the salamander news. We don't know any more salamander news. That's it. But new Seraphon looking exciting. New KO. What's exciting about that?
Have we had any KO information?
No, we've just had a.
Oh, just the dude with the book.
The dude with the
another book.
Yeah, you weren't here for the dude with the book last week.
No, I wasn't. What was the consensus of the dude with the book?
I hated the name because it felt like what they were trying to do is like they were trying to be like clever and be like, knowing the rules, that's for nerds. Look at this guy with all the books. Like I didn't like that element.
The name.
Yeah, a lot of other people are like a dwarf with books. Lame. What did you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was quite a cool model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, it is a weird thing to take to battle, a load of books, but maybe we'll see if it works, I guess.
So, there is one other bit of news, actually. I don't know if you've seen this. The Regiments of Renown is coming to Age of Sigmar. I think I've talked about this like in one of the streams, but I don't think I've necessarily put a video up about it. So it might be worth just having a quick little 2 minutes on it if that's comfortable. If you're comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with that, yeah.
So have you seen the news about the Regiments of Renown?
I did. Briefly saw it. There's some. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
there were some dispossessed dudes and some crew boys, some Zinchi guys, and a vampire or somebody.
Yeah, there are 6 Regiments of Renown.
And
coming
I've missed 2 out then. Cool.
Yeah, so you got Sylvaneth, you have Cruel Boys, you have zombies with a corpse cart. You have 3 chaos like monsters: the Mimrodon, the Fumroid Crusher, and the Sphyranx. Then you do have a unit of Dispossessed, you are correct, and then also some Pinky Boys. They've said that they're going to be allies and come out of the ally slot. They're going to get a bunch of buffs. Each character in it is like a named character, potentially, although they don't all necessarily have like a named character in there, which is quite interesting. And yeah, you're going to be able to ally them into your army. So, pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
like we don't know what the rules are going to be like, and ultimately, off the back of with several new books coming out in the next 6 months, you've got KO, obviously, Seraphon, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Soulblight Gravelords, Khorne, and Slanesh in the next 6 months. That is already going to be a pretty wild time in the meta anyway. Oh, and also the new Incarnate. So it's already going to be a pretty wild time. This is going to be a crazy little addition. So it's going to be some little cheeky tech pieces. Tech pieces, maybe. Or they'll be trash. One of the two, I think.
Yeah.
And we don't know. Are there any of those... Did you ever play with any Regiments of Renown? Have you ever used Regiments of Renown? Or do you like the idea of them? You know, like a fabled unit or a couple of units that's like a famous warband that you put in your army?
Like a mercenary band, yeah. I don't think I ever used anything like that. No, it's not a bad idea though. I don't think it's like a fairly interesting idea. Lore-wise, getting some dudes and hiring them to come and give you a hand.
Yeah, it could be really interesting.
They have to stay within their Grand Alliance, don't they?
Yes, they do have to stay within their Grand Alliance. But like somebody saying in the chat, the idea of putting like Tzeentch inside Skaven and turning maybe your own Skaven into Spawn, or being able to use being able to use pink horrors in Slanesh is quite interesting. Like that's quite fun. Like there's going to be, and they'll also get their own special rules. I bet
those Slanesh guys would love to whip a pink horror.
Right, his little pink butt. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, we've even seen that, like the Dispossessed one, once per battle, they can like strike.
Actually, that's a terrible combination. Slanesh and Tzeentch.
Why?
Oof, imagine the toys they would come up with. Mad.
I'd rather not. Can we not? This is why we have a whole different YouTube for this show now, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Think about that.
After Dark image.
Yeah, the After Dark. Welcome to the Honest Wargamer After Dark. You'll learn nothing, but you might have fun.
Where are we going to put this brimstone horror?
Right on this Keeper of Secrets ass is where it's going. Yeah. The changer of positions, exactly. Thank you, White Trash Wargamer.
That's good.
Right, so once we're back on your hero phase, you can pick an objective within 6 inches of the Rune Lord. If this Regiment of Renown has, in this Regiment of Renown, and say that Norgrim, that's his name, will strike the rune of Restored Hearth. If you do so for the rest of the battle, the models of this Regiment of Renown count as 2 models for the purposes of contesting that objective, and their unit has a ward save of 5+, and they have not specified that there's an end time on that.
That's pretty good. I wonder why the other Rune Lords don't strike that rune. It's a great rune.
It's a great rune. Yeah, I know. The lazy fucks. Maybe only Norgrim knows it.
That sounds a bit lame. Somebody's got to go and copy that bastard's rune.
Yeah, he's got some
sounds
good runes.
Good.
It's a good rune. Yeah. So these for hire with an Order army, yes. Which is, thank you, Il Pipsy, for resubscribing. Pispy, I think that's what his name was. Anyway, I quite like
Hearth and Home. That sounds like one of the Vallejo rooms.
Yeah, I mean, we are pretty certain the Cities of Sigmar book, the Pilgrims of Sigmar, whatever the hell they're called, the Dawnbringer Not Problematic Crusade, are like we're going to see the death of a bunch of the old world armies, models, sort of like Wild Riders, probably not long for this world. But I'm pretty certain we're going to keep the Dispossessed, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty...
Yeah. Well, they feature quite a lot in all the Dawnbringer stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see them. So we might see new and improved Dispossessed in the future.
Oh, I didn't get that. The computer machine made you sound like you're underwater.
This is why it's on another channel. All right, okay, right. Good. Excellent. All right, well, Regiments of Renown. There, we've done that. Excellent. Okay. Let's jump into this. So, this is where I take a nice, relaxing break from the show. So, at the weekend, Mr. Nathan Prescott played at the Sheffield Slaughter, a 100-person Age of Sigmar event where it's possible, if you want, to hire a private detective to hunt down members of your family. Pretty interesting thing, but there we go. So Nathan, you took Gloomspite Gitz, and I don't want to blow the lead, but Nathan did go 4-1, and the event was also won by Gloomspite Gitz. And somewhere else in the world, there was also another 5-0 with Gloomspite Gitz. So Gloomspite Gitz doing kind of well over the weekend, not too well. I'd like it to be clear. They just did okay. A couple of podiums, which is fine.
Pacing.
Yeah.
Pacing themselves.
Yeah, pacing themselves. And if I'm right in saying this, Nathan, some of the models from your Gloomspite Gitz army actually were in the Gloomspite Gitz army that won the event.
Yeah, he got the sneaky snufflers with the red cloaks, and I had the ones with the blue cloaks. And after the first game or two, I was like, okay, I think I should have had the ones with the red cloaks, because these ones can suck a dick.
What did they do wrong?
Well, so they do that buff, don't they, on a 2-up? Oh, well, on a 3-up, but under the light of the moon, it's a 2-up.
Yeah.
And so they were under the light of the moon.
And what's the buff that they give? Sorry, on a 2-up?
Every day, all day. And they give you a 5-up ward.
A 5-up ward save.
Yeah, it's great.
From six, how much is that? Wow, that's what. Like, it's got to be like a 150-point unit. How much are Snufflers?
110.
110.
Yeah,
Okay.
Real expensive lads. So, yeah, they're a great unit. They're actually quite fighty and quite tanky as well. So, just watch out for them in the future, maybe.
So your blue cloak ones were not able to do the 5-up ward.
Yeah, the first game.
Nathan, I know we're going to talk to all the games.
They rolled a 5.
A 5?
They rolled a 5 or 6. I'm going to do it from the sneaky snuffler point of view.
Okay.
And so that was great because I got extra attack. So that was perfect. But then after that, I rolled probably 7 or 8 ones in a row.
Okay. So, Nathan, you know, before you get into this review, just be conscious that you went 4-1. Yeah? Right?
I'll just say...
Before you talk about the units not being great, okay?
No, the unit is great, except for that specific unit, wherever the fuck they are. Little sods.
Okay, all right. So
I reckon they ate the wrong mushrooms.
Exactly. So what I'm going to say is... that because your grots were also in the winning army, your army went 9-1 this weekend. That's a fair way of describing it.
I'll take that, yeah.
That's a fair way of describing it. Your army went 9-1. Okay, that's perfect.
All right. I had a few allies, but yeah.
So can I ask a quick question? Well, a couple of questions, because we've got to do a classic tournament review before we get into the bat rep. So table height of the venue? Table
height of the venue. Like normal table heights and not the high tables that you like. So just regular table height. You know those folding tables that people use?
So like knee height?
That height. No, sort of waist height. Like just under waist. Between knee and thigh height.
Thigh height. Thigh high tables.
Thigh high.
Talk to me. Talk to me about thigh high tables.
So, they're great if you're sitting on a chair.
Okay, perfect. All right, great.
But if yeah.
Okay. Then how was the scenery?
They had the boards that I think were from the original.
From what?
From the original games of AOS on, not AOS, it would have been Warhammer, that they played on Noah's Ark, was it? Those big green boards.
Oh, the big green boards, the 6x4 boards.
Yeah, but then they had mats on them, so they all had mats on.
Did they have the nice mouse material mats or the more thinner mats?
Yeah, no, the nice mousy mats.
Love that.
And and the terrain was good. It was all provided terrain, so yeah, it was
perfect. Good. Did you feel it had any impact in the game?
Yeah, so at the beginning they announced every table has got at least one wild wood. So that has to be line of sight blocking, and you have to choose one other piece to be line of sight blocking of a similar sort of size.
Okay.
And then each table had 2 hills, and they were both impassable.
Oh, okay, so there were 2 line-of-sight blocking pieces of terrain and 2 impassable bits of terrain.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Did it affect any of your games?
Yeah. People were dodging around and trying to make sure that they could see things. And I hit the Gobbapalooza in a piece of terrain that people couldn't see into. They had a great time until I realized that they couldn't see out to cast spells. Then I was like, oh shit.
Again, 4-1, Nathan. Just remember that. Right. Okay. So then.
Well, it wasn't my fault. I went 4-1. It was just.
It wasn't.
What happened?
Like, I'm not assigning blame. Like, you don't think I'm. Okay. Right. So, how was the food? How was the food?
Just like sandwiches and chips.
Okay.
So like buffet style sandwiches and chips. But I think the blokes that went up first tucked in. So the blokes that went up last were kind of left stranded a bit.
Oh, it's a bit povo if you went second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there were chocolate cookies as well.
Okay, fantastic. How are the toilets? Hand dryers, paper towels, connoisseurs.
Yeah, there were toilets that were right. They were clean. They had hand dryers which were fairly weak and feeble, I'm afraid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Not even a
little bit.
Dyson?
No, they were just blowing ones. At least the one I kept going to was a bit asthmatic or something.
That's funny, hairdryer.
Pretty. It just gave up after.
Maybe
a
it's
while
got the long COVID. Like
before I dried my hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably something like that.
Okay. They had a swimming pool.
Yes, they did. Yeah, there was a swimming pool. In fact, the last bloke I played had been to the swimming pool twice before I played against him on that day.
During the games?
During the games, yeah. And during the lunch break and what have you. Yeah.
Okay, incredible.
Respect. Yeah. So I think a few people were using the pool. So
okay.
Yeah, I think there was a sauna as well somewhere.
That's what I
want. In the hotel?
That's what I always want. Right at the end of a Saturday, after everyone's real sweaty and meaty, I want to get right in that sauna with them. And I want to
build that up.
Yeah.
You want to double down on that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe become immune to it. Like someone's like, it smells in here, and you're like, I can't smell anything. I'm so used to it. It's in my blood. All right, I think that's everything that we normally talk about: terrain, table height, toilets, food. Okay, perfect. All right, great. Yeah. Okay, good. Right, so. Talk to us about how you did. Talk to us about what list you took first and why you took that list. Let's start there. Because this is the brand new Gloomspite Gitz. These guys didn't even wait for an FAQ. They were like, we don't care about an FAQ. We're just going to get anyone who's never played this army before, probably until this week, because the book's only been out a week, to play brand new book. Yeah, pretty bold.
Yeah. Turned out pretty good.
Okay, it did
for some people.
For some people, yes.
Right. Yeah, so I just wanted to try a mix of things from the book. So I went with sort of half trolls and some squigs, and then just some buff pieces. So I had a troll boss, a trog boss, Jankol trog boss as my general.
Yep.
With the loon skin command trait, so I could bring a free endless spell. So I brought the Malevolent Moon as my free spell, because then I could then have an extra bubble of moonlight, and also it's got a nice little AOE.
Wait, sorry, say this again. You get a free spell.
A free spell, yeah, 80 points off, so 80 points for free.
Okay.
Of spells.
So your list was technically, how many points was your list?
1980. Okay, or something like that.
So 2,060 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was 1980. I got Triumph, I think, every turn as well, so it was great.
Now, you might not want to have listened to the stat show from earlier, because, so, what are my feelings on Triumphs generally?
You are grumpy about Triumphs. You don't like those things.
Grumpy. That's the correct term. Correct way to describe them. Which triumph did you happen to go for?
The Gitz one, the Indomitable.
Is there a Gitz specific one?
Yeah. Immune to battle shock for a round. Other people sometimes use it, but it's the Gitz one. Indomitable.
I just got some questions to ask about that. So is it command ability? This triumph? No, not a command ability.
It's just, you just get to battle shock immune.
When do you decide you're going to battle shock immune them?
Whenever the hell you want to.
What if I've rolled the dice? Can I then battle shock immune them?
I don't know. Can you?
I think so, yeah. What if what if I use a horror gas, so I make it so that you can't like ignore battle shock?
I can't use inspiring presence, but I can still use a triumph, obviously.
Oh, of course. Absolutely, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. That's logical. Do you remember why triumphs were introduced?
To make you grumpy.
Do you remember when they were introduced?
I think they might have always been in the game. Wasn't it not if you had more models than your opponent? Or if you had won your last game? Or if you had
It was if you'd won your last game from the version of the game where there were no points. If you'd won your last game, you were allowed to take a triumph into the next game.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Good. Anyway, got nothing to say about that. So you had a triumph. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take the +1 to wound one?
Because I'm like everything's dead before that time, that point anyway.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, Nathan. Someone's asking in the chat because they're not sure about triumphs. You at least need to do it like you know how you need if you're doing a command ability, you got to do it from like unit champ or a hero. It's like 12 inches, but your general it's 18 inches, or a totem it's 18 inches. Like what range do you have to be?
The unit has to be on the table.
Not near a character.
No, as long as it's on the table and it's relatively near to you as being the person using the army.
Okay.
So that your opponent can hear that you're going to say, "I'm going to use a triumph."
Okay, just a kind of quick follow-up question, if you don't mind. Like,
unless you're playing on the internet, then it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Then it's all a figment.
Okay.
Yeah, then it's figment, whatever.
Kind of like a follow-up question. What was my follow-up question going to be? It's fine. We'll move on. It's fine. Let's go. I can't tell if you're joking. You get a thing if you won your last game. No, it used to be. So the way that triumphs got introduced into the game is that it used to be in the game, and then they were like, I guess we'll kind of keep this, but for no reason. No viable reason at all to keep it. Unless, Nathan, you know one.
No, I mean, it's supposed to be because your points down, but I mean, the amount of points that you're down by is never... it's not, I wouldn't say never, but it's seldom worth the points of what the buff is that you get.
Because the buff is insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it can be real insane.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. My favourite bit is when someone's already rolled all their to-hit rolls, and then they look at their dice, and then they say, by the way, how many points are you? And then you're like, I am this many points. And then they go, I get a triumph, +1 to wound. And it's at that point you realise it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. But anyway, let's not carry on this. We got it. We got it, baby. We got it. Yeah, because it's like if my army is 10 points cheaper, I definitely should get a huge buff, but that's fine. Right, so you had sneaky snufflers, but the blue jacket ones not as good.
Yeah. I was telling you about my general, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So you got the loon skin, so I got that free endless spell for an extra bubble of moonlight, and also little AoE damage because it hits everything within 3 inches on a 2-up, doing D3 more wounds. So yeah, pretty good. It did some good little bursts of damage throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, the moonlight was great. I could run squigs into it. Used it to buff trolls and stuff like that. So what else did he add? So also he had the Speaky Skull fetish, as you do.
The Speaky Skull Fetish.
Yeah.
What is that?
So that is a fetishy type skull thing, I guess. And so he rolls 3 dice at the start of the hero phase, whatever, or sometime in the hero phase. And on 6s, he gets extra command point. But it also means that he can then issue the same command ability 2 times. Both times. It does cost a command point each time. But being able to do the same command ability twice is great.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
so 2... I used it for everything. So 2 all-out defenses, 2 all-out attacks. I used it for 2 battle shocks. Yeah, all sorts of things. So great. I would say I'd use it on 2 rallies, but I get 3 rallies for free anyway. So
Clip. Hold on, let me just clip that. Let me just clip that.
I mean, so you could effectively do 5 rallies, I guess, with that. But
That's
there's normally not enough.
On 6
not
ups,
enough.
though, right? On 6 ups.
Well, some of it is.
Okay, what else is in the list?
So that's my Trog boss. So so he's got his. So I'll do the Trog half. So then he's got a unit of 6 rock guts and a unit of 6 fell waters.
Oof.
Great. Like I know a lot of people take them in 3s, the fell waters, but I just found the 6 was great. You could give them a buff, like all out defense, and whenever the sneaky snuffler thing did work, onto them, turn them into rock guts, but better. So yeah.
Rock
But
guts,
extra
better.
with extra rules. Yeah,
Wait,
they were great.
so giving a 5-up ward to a unit, who's it keyword locked to?
Your army gets Gloomspite Gitz. Yeah. That's
Wait,
so good.
Can your
the
opponent
keywords.
stop it?
If they make you roll a 1, which my opponents did a few times.
The bastards. I
bunch.
can't believe they did that.
I know.
Okay,
What a bunch of bastards. So, yeah.
exactly. All right, so kill the snufflers. Yeah, just kill them. Did you lose the snufflers a lot, I imagine?
I lost them in 1 game. Yeah. They are, and yeah, we didn't actually do the fight because at that point I'd lost the game anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they would have died as fast as we thought they would have actually. Yeah,
Right, because they're more
pretty
survivable
tough.
than you think.
Yeah, they're 2 wounds each, and they got a 5-up ward save. So
They have a 5-up ward save.
Mm.
There's a unit of 6. Wait,
They have one, and they give one out because they're very generous. Except mine, we're not generous. Bunch of bastards.
That's so generous. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Good. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't. I don't think I knew that they had a 5-up ward save. 110 points, 12 wounds.
And you know they've got like 6 or 7 attacks each, and some of those are rend 1.
You can't rally them on a 4-up though, right?
Oh yes, you can.
Okay, that's good.
I mean,
Positive.
and you can buff them up so that they're like 10 attacks each. Rend 2.
No, you can't get them to 10 attacks each.
You can.
Wait, no, stop. Wait, are you talking about 10 attacks for the unit or 10 attacks per model of 6?
Per model, I reckon there's ways that you could do that.
You're telling me you could get 60 attacks out of 6 sneaky snufflers?
Something like that, yeah.
All right, well, at least you can't reinforce them.
Not more than once, anyway.
Okay. Okay, so 6 rock gut trolls. Okay,
Yeah.
3-up armor save, 5-up ward, Puscar Blight Lords. And then some rock guts, and not rock guts, and the fell waters. And the fell waters have got a cool little trick, haven't they? Some people know, but just remind us again.
Oh, yeah. So, like we were talking about that spit attack earlier, this one is great. Only it's not bloody 24-inch vomit. It's 6-inch vomit. But it hits on 2s, wins on 3s. It's -2 rend and does D3 damage. So, yeah, that's pretty good. But also, once you're drenched in vomit, you're -1 to your armor save, and you cannot modify your armor save in a positive fashion after that.
Right, yeah. So, like, let's take an example, shall we? I played against some Foe Waters the other day. So I had a unit of Stormdrake Guard who start on a 3-up armor save, and then I put a Mystic Shield on them, right? And then the Foe Waters shot me, and I all out defensed. And unfortunately, I failed one. So then I was on a 2-up armor save, but then they take away my positive Mystic Shield. And then, so then I'm back to a 3-up save. And then they reduced my save by 1 because of the 6. So I was on a 4-up armor save.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rotguts hit me, who are Ren 2. So in the course of one action, I went from a 2-up armor save to a 6-up armor save.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did that.
Yeah.
To some Storm Drakes, it was great.
You did that to some Storm Drakes?
Yeah, and yeah, I had Poisonous Vomit.
What's that?
So you could give them the Spiker buff so that the vomit is poisonous, so it's Ren 3.
Okay, good. Excellent, excellent. I don't think poison works into armor. Surely it's like more of an acid.
Well, acidic, poisonous, acidic vomit.
Glob,
yeah,
a glob.
Yeah, a globule of... Yeah,
Globule.
it was great.
Okay, we've not got past the list yet, so let's crack on.
So yeah, so that's the old trogs. They are great. And then so then I had the squig side, which was basically a 1 unit of 15. I hummed and hawed whether I should take 5s, a 10 and a 5. I ended up just taking a 15.
Of Boingrot Bounders?
Yeah.
Oh, my dream.
And it was insane. An insane
okay.
unit.
Give me a TLDR on the Boingrots. Just like...
They are insane. Like, yeah. Well, if they start off next to their squig boss and you get a couple of buffs on them, or even just the one buff, even if you don't get any buffs on them and you ram them into something, it's dead.
What?
It's
Anything?
Just dead. Anything. I don't think anything can take 15 Boingrots to the face.
What are the buffs you can give them?
So you can give them mortal wounds on 6s to hit.
Skinks.
Yeah, you could give them mortal wounds on 6s to wound.
Double skinks.
You can give them like extra 2 or 3 or 4. No, extra 1 or 2 or 3 attacks depending on what buffs are available. But yeah, you can give them loads of extra attacks. They start with...
Is that on each melee profile?
Yeah, some of them are on each melee profile. Some are... So the Jaws of Mork ability is just on the Jaws. So they start off with 3 Jaws and 2 Lancers.
5 attacks.
Yeah. So, and then Jaws of Mork, if they charge, it's 4 Jaw attacks and 2 Lancers.
So 6 attacks per model.
Yeah. If they're near Spore Splatters, then they get extra 1 on each.
Okay, so 8 attacks per model.
And if you roll the 5-up on the Sneaky Snufflers, and because of the moon, or 6-up, whatever, then an extra 1 on each as well.
9 attacks per model.
Yeah. And then on the charge, the Lancers are Ren 2, damage 2.
So 135 attacks.
It's just like, and you're doing so many mortal wounds as well. Stuff was dying to mortal wounds before, like everything was dead from all the mortal wounds before.
You rolled saves.
Yeah, well, before just like.
Did you ever lose the unit? Did the unit ever die?
Yeah, I did lose it to in the game that I lost it there.
Did you lose it in any other games?
No, did I? Yeah, no, I didn't lose it in any other games. They are quite tough, so yeah.
Do they rally on a 4-up?
Yes.
Excellent. That's good.
If they're under the moon, which is what the malevolent moon is for, and also the moon just is on the board loads, and Scragrot's running around carrying it, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, talk to me about the moon, because the moon was so inconsistent previously in the last version of the book. How are you feeling about the moon in this version? Like, do you like being under the moon is fairly important. Like, how easy was it to manage that element?
Yeah, so it's real easy because Scragrot carries around with them, and you've got the Loon Shrine, which has got a big bubble of it there. So you've got 2 big blobs of moonlight in your own deployment area.
Yeah, globs.
So
Sorry, did you say?
Yeah. globs of moonlight. And so quite often I would start the moonlight on my opponent's side of the board then, so I could run into it and like fight them under the moonlight that side. Whereas previously you'd start it on your side of the board a lot of the time. But you've got that much moonlight, and then you're casting the spell as well, so there's just moonlight galore. The problem I did find with it was quite often if it started off in a quarter, there was a good chance it would stay in that quarter for a couple of turns. So before it goes into the center, and then as soon as it gets into the center, you can use Scragrot to hold it there. But like a couple of the games, I just got Scragrot to pull it into the center because it just wasn't moving out of the quarter. I don't think it ever went off the board either.
It never went off the board?
No, not in any of my games. Yeah.
How do you feel about the tempo of the army? Do you feel like it's like an early turns 1 to 3 sort of army, or like a 3 to 5?
Oh, 1 to 5. It's great. Like all the time.
Consistent tempo, Rob. Absolute fuck sticks for 5 turns.
They don't give up. I think, I mean, obviously, if they've taken a battering, then the tempo drops off. So you'll see in the game that I lost, they took a bit of a battering. But other than that, yeah, great.
Okay, all right, excellent. Yeah. So we talked about 15 Boingrots that can delete the Earth. Do you reckon they can take out Archeon?
Oh, easy. I mean, the old Boingrots took out Archeon. So the new ones.
I want to hear more about this. Like, tell me your feelings. Like, how does it feel to go from a book that did not have that unit to what sound like, on paper, horrific?
Yeah. It's insane. It just, you just, it's insane. I don't know if the 15 is essential, but being able to push a 15 around, and after they've just touched something, then suddenly your opponent you can just see them they just like sway a bit, like they've just taken a heavy blow, and then whenever they're looking at the table, if their eye brushes across the Boingrot, suddenly they like spaz out a little bit, like a little spasm, and there's nervous twitches appear. Yeah, because they are a terrifying unit to face. I would not like to be the wrong side of the table of them.
Good. Okay. All right. I love that. Are they worse than the old Gristlegore Terrorgeist? I'm being asked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, those guys could kill lots of things, but these guys would kill
anything.
Perfect.
Love that. Okay. Yeah. So trolls, Boingrots, a fella that can just do loads of command abilities, some Snufflers. Yeah. What else do we get?
So, so I had Scragrot as well. I think all the Gitz lists on the weekend across the whole world probably had Scragrot.
Scragrot? Yes or no? Perfectly pointed.
So I can't understand the points. 160 points. He was 220 before, and if he was 220 now and 160 before, that would be still maybe a little bit insane. he's probably at least 220. So he could probably go up 60 points.
Don't put that voodoo in the world, Nath. Don't forget the Gloomspite Gitz only ever went up 40 points.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, someone's asked, what do you get for 160 points? Talk me through it. What do I get? I got 160 points and a lot of love.
Is it not better to ask what you don't get? Because you get everything, and the only thing you don't get is... I can't think of anything you don't get. No, so you get 6 wounds with a 4-up ward save.
Okay, good. What armor save?
5 up, I would say.
Okay, all right. So that's easy to deal with.
Yeah. He carries a ball of moonlight with him, moon on a stick.
Yeah.
That's what it says. He's got a spell which is 24 inches and does gazillions of mortal wounds.
Oh, yeah. How did that do for you over the weekend? 'Cause it's cast on a 3, right?
Yeah, so cast on 3, and a few times I did cast like a 3. I was like, oh, I haven't got it off, and then I suddenly remembered, oh, I have got it off. My opponent would be like, they could see the disappointment in my face, and then I'd be like, actually, I've got it off, and they'd be like, huh? Okay, I've got it. Unbind it. And most of the time, if it was that low, they would unbind it, because if they don't unbind it, it still does damage. So yeah. So basically, you roll the number of dice that you cast the spell on, and 3 ups as mortal wounds, and it's at 24 inches. So great, like proper put some poke out. Yeah, and a few times when I rolled a 10 or 11, and it was just taking like heroes off or anything. Yeah.
Because for every dice you roll it on,
Yeah.
on a 3 up, they take a mortal wound. So if you roll a 10, you roll 10 dice, right?
Yeah.
At 24 inches.
Yeah. So it easily deletes a hero. Yeah.
Do you have to assign a target before you roll? Yeah, you probably have to select a target, right?
You probably do, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it matters if you do or don't, really, but yeah. You just do it, yeah. Yeah, so Scrag, what else does he do? So he's got that spell, which is insane. He's got the 4-up ward. He's got +1 to cast and unbind. He casts 2 spells. He's also a War Master, so you've got a spare general in case your general goes down. And he's also Law Master, so he knows all the all the spells of the Moon Clan lore, which is another 4 spells that he knows. And he can control the moon for 1 turn. Instead of rolling, you decide what the moon will do. So, yeah, loads of buffs.
It's a lot of buffs.
And also every turn he gets a free command ability. So it's not every round as well. So it's every turn, 1 free. He can use a command.
Wait, every player turn?
Yeah, he gets to do a free command thing.
So, but he can't do so that he could use that. So, but is he a Moon Clan?
Yeah.
So can he do the 3-4 up rallies?
Yeah. So you could do the heroic action, the 3-4 up rallies as well.
On a 4+.
Yeah.
And it's an 18-inch range because he's a War Master.
Yeah, because he's a general.
Solid.
He's generally a general.
Generally a general. All right, excellent. So Scraggy, 160, packed with power in a small and tiny form.
Yeah.
Would you continue to include him in the list?
Yeah, real hard to drop him out of a list. Like, real hard. Just so much utility from him. So, yeah. He's staying in the list.
Okay.
Then I had 20 shooters who were awesome. Like, just a little screen unit that can just every now and again lay some hurt down with their little guns that they carry, their little bows and arrows. So, yeah. Because that unit does... So I got 2 netters in that unit.
Yeah.
So it's a -1 to hit bubble around the unit of 1 inch. And that's shooting and combat. And also... so that means there's 2 netters in there. So it's 18 dudes with bows and arrows. So it's 36 shots from that unit.
36 shots?
Yeah.
Wow.
They put some hurt onto a black coach, I'll tell you that.
Really?
First game, yeah. They filled it with arrows.
Can you make them battle line? Are they battle line?
They are battle line, yeah.
Would you ever be tempted to take a unit of 60?
Yes. Well, yeah, except for then I would be rolling so many dice, because that would be 100 and... It depends how many netters you got, but you're like 110 attacks or something like that.
So what you're telling me is that's just like a more annoying way of having to take someone's army off the table.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Just like, so what you're saying is that unit is incredibly good, but you can't be asked to use it.
Yeah. It's like insane.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So what would 60 be? It would be 36, 72, 108 shots. 60? Yeah. How many points are they?
125.
So it'd be. It'd be 375 points for that unit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points, though. A lot of points for 100
Yeah.
shots. A lot of points. So.
Yeah, and they're only bravery 4, 6 up armor save.
Well, I don't know if you know about triumphs, Nathan, but.
Yeah. Let me tell you the good news.
Okay. let me tell you something. I can. Okay, but they were good. They just put out a lot of shots and generally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they were like people couldn't just ignore them, and they're just a good screen. And the fact that they come with a -1 to hit bubble as well means they're not a complete pushover either. Like, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so then, anything else left in the list?
Yeah, so I had the Gobberpalooza, another fantastic little unit. Obviously, probably the best looking lads on the block. They come with 2 spells, which are interesting. They're 12-inch range, both of them. The first one is a -1 to hit bubble that stays up from the unit. So -1 to hit bubble, but the enemy have to be wholly within that bubble for it to affect them.
So they could be -2 to hit.
Oh, that can be minus gazillions to hit, yeah. And then...
Rob, you fucking idiot. Okay, good.
And then the other one, which is a real interesting spell, it's only 12 inches again, but not wholly within. You cast it on an enemy unit, and it's mesmerized from your favorite lad, Boggle Eye, and they can't give or receive command abilities until your next hero phase.
Wow, that's good.
Which is a really, really strong spell. Super strong.
Did it come in effective at all at the weekend?
It did, especially when I failed to cast it.
Is it a high cast value, like a 9?
I think it's a 6.
Okay, so yeah. High, really. I mean, if 3's your baseline, 6 is...
Yeah. I mean, compared to Scragrot's skull, it's twice as much as Scragrot's skull.
Like, I can't believe they've done you like that. You got a cast this roll twice as high as another one. That's outrageous stuff.
Insane.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Squig boss I mentioned. So he was my only galley vet that I had.
Okay.
He was a tunnel master, and he had a Griff Feather Charm.
Okay, 5 at ward.
Yeah.
Tunnel master, eh? Nice.
Yeah, good old tunnel master for that cheeky cunning maneuver.
Yeah.
Right, what else did I have? I think that's about it, really.
I was going to say
No.
Oh,
I had a unit of Spore Splatters. They're quite cheap. So
a unit of Spore Splatter Fanatics.
Yeah.
Okay, and they give +1 attack out, right?
+1 attack. It's a 9-inch bubble, so it's not particularly big bubble, but it's pretty good. They also block line of sight, and they've got a pre-game move, neither of which really came into effect for me during the games. The line of sight blocking thing is more a pain for me than it is for my opponent, because I've got to make sure that Scragrot can see out and shoot things, so I've got to make sure he's like not blocked by them and stuff like that.
Interesting, yeah, because you move after the hero phase. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, you've got a pre-game move, if they are in the way, but you don't know. It's pre-game, so you don't know who's taking first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the winning list at the event took a lot of Squig Hoppers and Squig Hoppers and Squig Herd, maybe, or maybe it's Squig Hoppers and Boingrots.
Squig Hoppers and Boingrots. Yeah. So he had a big unit of Squig Hoppers and the same 15 of Boingrots that I had.
Yeah. Why did you choose not to take the Squig Hoppers?
Just because the footprint is bigger and it's more models to move around, and so I just thought they're faster, and it's probably a better unit. But I just thought I'd get more value out of the small unit.
And you wanted some trolls.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would be more expensive. The big Hoppers unit is more expensive.
And you wanted just more units.
Yeah. I wanted to try more stuff, and they're not as tanky as the. Well, I guess it's load more wounds, so it's probably about as survivable.
Isn't it 64 wounds?
It's 60 wounds.
60 wounds.
They're 2 wounds each, 30. Yeah. So whereas my unit was only 30 wounds, but my unit's on a 4-up save, and that unit's on a 6-up save.
But you can have a 5-up ward, right?
Yeah, and so can the big unit, to be fair. So, I mean, the big unit is more survivable, but you are paying an extra 40 points per reinforcement, so extra 120 points. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think whatever the hoppers kill, the Boingrots can kill anyway, so I'm happy with that.
That's fair. That's super fair.
Maybe not as tanky or as board presency, and they're definitely not as fast. I think the Squig Hoppers probably, like in a more competitive list, they're probably the choice to take, because on a couple of the games, he wasn't using them to do the damage really. He was just using them to control the board, and the movement was there, so he could just go and take objectives, whatever objectives he needed to. And the opponent, like against the Slayers, which beat me, and then he was playing them in the final.
The Fire Slayers.
Yeah, he didn't need to fight them really. Just run around and do battle tactics and control the primary objectives.
Okay.
And then the slow ass little fellas just are stuck. Huh?
Yeah, can't do much. Because are you talking about because of the threat projection from the Hoppers and the Boingrots?
Well, yeah. So he's got the threat there, but also he's got the speed to then be able to react to the scenario and be able to control whatever objectives he needs to control wherever the Slayers are not. So
I got a question for you, if you don't mind. Because I was writing. I've just finished editing. I like the rough cut. I'm going to edit the rest of it tomorrow. My archetypes and unit roles list. It's quite interesting when I got to damage dealing. Quite interesting when I got to damage dealing, because I kind of talked about it, and I said damage dealing units, which I guess we're talking about Boingrots and other stuff, kind of have 3 factors that I care about personally, and it's the damage they can do is obviously pretty important. The survivability of the unit, and then their ability to project power, so their threat potential, or their effective range is the correct way of describing it. So if you had to put damage, survivability, and threat range, in a list, which one's top, middle, and bottom? What's the most important thing for you, second and third, in your opinion? And same question to the chat, same to people watching at home on the YouTube show. Let me know.
Yes, I think the threat range is the most important thing.
That's what I got as well. That's what I put down. I'm just interested what everyone else puts. What's
and that is why I nearly took Mangler Squigs in my list as well, because I think for some armies, they're the fastest thing.
Can they go fast?
In the Gitz book, yeah. So they can go. Well, they've got that 3d6 move after they finished a charge, which gives you that. Oh yeah. Which gives you extra fast.
Yeah. So what would your second one be? Survivability or damage?
For a damage dealing unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as long as the first one is the range is good, then probably damage.
Okay.
But then if the range is low, then you need the survivability to be high, because then they can probably take some damage trying to get to where they need to be.
Yeah, that's why I put my priority tree as threat range, survivability, and then damage, because inherently we're talking about their ability to survive. Sure, if their threat range is low, they need to survive better. Chosen are a good example. Yeah. So those two are interspersed with each other, and then finally we talk about the damage afterwards.
Yeah, I think most damage dealing units have got the damage anyway. Really, they're going to hurt stuff.
Yeah. But weirdly, I think I'd prefer something that's kind of fast and damagey, versus something that's very damagey. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just I always want it to be. Anyway, interesting.
I would
wrote-
prefer a fast damagey unit than
That's not even that damagey, is what I'm trying to say.
than a tanky damagey unit.
Yeah,
That's slow. But then, like the tanky damagey units performed well. The Slayer units, the Fire Slayers, they seem to have done well. There was a 5-0 and a 4-1, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was absolutely. Yeah. Really good. They've got a bunch of very interesting kind of mechanics to them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, countercharging and stuff is good.
Interestingly, Bolt Boys were actually one of those things that I actually used as an example, because Bolt Boys, interestingly, have just absolutely huge damage. So if you're always prioritizing damage, they're right at the top of a tree. But then their survivability and threat range is actually fairly low. So weirdly, they end up being quite rubbish as a unit. But anyway, sorry, it's just it's interesting because I wrote that in isolation. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But it's nice to hear at least you think the same. So that's good. Okay, so you played at the event with this list. Just a bunch of stuff you threw together, really. Just some lads you had lying around.
Yeah, I changed the list so many times thinking about it, but it's pretty similar to the list that I started with. The main difference was that I had 3 5s and I put them all into a single unit of 15 Boingrots.
Perfect.
And I was happy with that. Yeah, I was happy with that.
Maybe
choice.
those Boingrots are a regiment of renown.
They, yes, they are in my eyes. They're beautiful little fellas.
All right, talk to me about who you played, and talk to me about just talk to me about the games a bit.
Yeah, cool. So I got to play against Dan from the Warrior Lodge.
Dan from the Warrior Lodge.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy.
So, yeah, he's a proper great guy, and he had a Nighthorn list.
Did he? Fuck.
Yeah, with a black coach and loads of blade geists.
Yeah. Nice.
And then one of the dudes with a cross and some other dudes that are like little heroes.
Can we do a show where you just describe all the units in a book? Yeah. It's a dude with a cross. I'm like, the excruciating. Then there was a guy in the boat. I'm like, okay, nice.
No, I didn't have any fellas in boats.
No boat.
But yeah, he actually had quite a few galley vets, and we were playing only the worthy, which is like a galley vet one. If the galley vet is on the objective,
yes,
then they're the dog's bollocks, and everybody else is not the dog's bollocks. So, and I only had one galley vet, and he had maybe 4,500 of them, I think. No, he had
a lot.
He had loads. He had 4 or 5, probably at least 5. So I thought it was that was going to be awkward. But he gave me first turn. Did he? No, I gave him first turn because we were both 10 drops and I won the roll off. So I gave him first turn, which was very unusual for me to be deciding who does what. Because
normally you're 18 drops.
Yeah, I was only 10 this time.
Wow, barely any.
Yeah.
And also, you took Galician sharpshooters.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I took Galician sharpshooters and a warlord battalion, which I never understand why people take the other. What's it? The command entourage when they can take warlord and get a free command point.
What? Wait. I don't. Sorry. So what? Wait. You mean the one that gives them an extra enhancement?
Yeah.
Don't you want the extra enhancement?
Yeah, that's what warlord gives you, the enhancement, but it also gives you a free command point.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I never understand why people take command entourage when they could just include some other slob from the army and then get a command point.
Most people's slobs aren't 80 points.
Yeah, well.
Just as an FYI.
No, well, it's the same. It's the same thing on heroes. It's 3 heroes.
Okay.
But then you just have to include one other unit from the army, and then you get a free command point.
Okay, that seems like a deal.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation to people. Take warlord, not thingy. Command entourage. Anyway, so I gave him first turn. So he did a desecrate, took over some objectives. Then I did a desecrate, took over some other objectives. killed some stuff. Oh, this is the one where I shot the hell out of a
Black
black
Coach.
coach.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think I shot it with Scragrot spell and then filled it with loads of arrows from the little unit of shooters. And they did 6 wounds to it or something like that. It was mad.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, pretty good. Screened up, and then I got the double turn here. So then I just pushed on, went on in, and dominated the board position then. So then he could only do he couldn't get his. I killed off one unit of Blade Geist by then, and controlled sort of 2/3 of the battleground. So I was then up on the primary points, and he couldn't get back into the primary points, and his other unit of Blade Geist was now out of position. And
Why didn't he use his 4-up rally?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to. Oh, because everything was dead in the units that was dead. The other ones weren't wounded enough to rally.
Oh, right, okay. My apologies.
They were still full strength. I hadn't fought them, otherwise they would have been dead.
Yes, correct.
Don't wound things, just kill them. It's much more humane that way.
It's quicker.
And so, yeah. So then I controlled the thing, and then I got to do some of my own special book tactics, which was hilarious. I did a moonlight raid, and then I followed the moon.
What is a moonlight raid? Okay, so at the arena, I did previously. I'm not going to do it anymore. Ban book tactics and grand strat. So I haven't had to witness this nonsense. What's your book battle tactic? What's a moonlight raid?
A moonlight raid is, I think it's when you go and take an object. Let me just double check that I'm going to say the right words here. Sorry, I wasn't expecting this sort of interrogation.
You played it yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember what I did this morning. Never mind yesterday. Right. So if I take an objective that my opponent has got control over, and I take control over it, and all of my units that are on that objective are under the moonlight. That's a moonlight raid.
Okay, so just take an objective, basically.
Yeah, with the moon up, and then follow the moon is a real nice one, because if I control more objectives than you control, and all of my army was under the light of the moon, it's job done. So proper nice, easy one. That one is.
That's a nice turn one, right?
You can't do it for turn 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah.
Balanced.
Yeah.
Good. What was your grand strategy? What's that?
No, it was what's it called? It's the moon one as well. I
Chasing the moon.
One. Yeah, it was great. I chased the moon all the way.
And what does it do?
Basically, my general has to be alive at the end of the battle, because he has to be affected by the moon in at least 3 turns. It's not for the whole of those 3 turns, just like in those 3 turns. But all the time he stood next to Scragrot, so he's always under the light of the moon.
Thanks to Mum Dare for donating 500 bits to the show, for the snack that is Nathan. Appreciate that. So you just got to be under the moon for 3 turns.
Yeah.
Or stood next to Scragrot for 5 turns.
No, for 3 turns. Yeah. And also survive the battle.
Survive. Well, I mean, so what's the Trog Boss, what's his survivability like?
So the one that I've built is not that survivable, but he is 10 wounds with a 4-up armor save, which is because he stood next to Scragrot. It's a 3-up armor save, and he heals D6 every hero phase.
Every one of your hero phases?
I think he heals everybody's hero phase, but normally if they target him, he's probably dead.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll target him with something that will get through that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So at that point, I had won the double turn.
Just a question, Nathan. Did he ever die?
Yes, he did.
Oh, how many times?
Twice, I think.
Oof. Were you charging him in recklessly?
A couple of times he got into bad places.
Hate that. Hate that for me. I hate it when my trunk boss gets into the bad places.
He wandered off on his own. Yeah, no, it was. I think I definitely lost him against the Fire Slayers. I thought he died one of the times, so yeah, he probably died a couple of times. So,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
But there is a build where you can build him so he just doesn't die. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, perfect. Okay, so then,
Cool.
so you beat Dan. Dan lost.
Yeah. So yeah, I then held the thing. I won all the priority roles, and so I was able to control the flow of battle and effectively had tabled him.
Nathan, someone
yeah.
just signed up to our Patreon.
Cool.
Roy fella. Roy Marius Hellegland. How cool is that?
That was an awesome name.
That's
Marius
cool.
Hellegland.
Well, that's so nice. Thanks,
Cool.
thanks anyone who supports us on Patreon. Thank you. Sorry, anyway, Nathan, carry on. I don't want to disturb you,
Cool.
sorry. It flashes
No
on the
worries.
screen, and it's very hard not to be excited.
Yeah. So yeah, I had effectively killed everything very soon, and I think he had killed the Gobapalooza.
Oh, did we talk about the fact you had the Gobapalooza?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I did mention it.
So-
But then it's all right. I got half of them back through the shrine.
Which ones do you choose? This is actually a real issue. So wait, the Gobapalooza can come back through the shrine, right?
Yeah.
So then, and we'll ignore that being hilarious. Which ones do you choose? Because that's got to be tough. That's a Sophie's choice for a goblin player.
It is a tough one. I do like Boggle Eye, so he tends to come back. And Shrewmancer is my favourite model. So he comes back because he's riding on a mushroom.
Okay.
He's on a mount. And then I guess it's a toss-up between the others. I was playing against Nighthaunt, so Spyco was given a rest because the rend buff was not that useful. So I'll probably bring out Scaremonger actually for +1 and run and charge, or Boggle Eye if I ever think my general is going to get in a fight. But it's more than likely it's going to be Scaremonger, and I think I brought Scaremonger back in this.
Okay,
fight.
nice. So you bring two back, one because you like the model, and then there's always just a third one.
Well, and they're wizards, and that's real good.
Oh, so you bring back two wizards. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No problem. Anytime.
Yeah, good. Nathan, I swear to God, if I ever become your Gobapalooza, you bring back two wizards, I'm going to fucking flip. Yeah, I'm going to fucking literally flip anyway, please continue.
Cool. So then I got to play Alex Bruce.
Oh yes, the Brewster. He was WhatsApping me, which is funny because like that was more than I heard from you for the whole weekend. He was messaging me. Wait, let me quote. I want to get into what happened, but if I could just very quickly quote what he's messaged me. He said
basically what he said probably sums up the game.
Yeah. Playing Nath round 2, he rolls 3 to cast 2 spells. And then he wrote, magic can suck a dick. And then he's just said, fuck tactics, everything is charging, as he charges goblin archers into Hearthguard berserkers.
Yeah.
What was your plan?
It was get my buffs up with magic and then charge. And then it turned out, don't worry about the buffs. And also I felt that was... failed a sneaky snuffler roll and everything there. So then it was just like, I should have backed off, to be fair, at that point, once I'd realised there was no buffs. And then let him come to me, but instead I did just charge in everything.
Okay, so you plan to get loads of buffs on the units and charge?
Yeah.
You didn't get the buffs?
No, and so I charged him. And it was... positions over power. We both scored max on the first turn. He took first turn, or did I give it to him? I can't remember. And then he got onto a flank. Then I went and took that flank off of him with the Bungrot Bounders. but didn't manage to wipe out the unit, I think. So they were trapped in combat on that side. Then I got the turn, and then that's when I failed everything, pushed on in. And then he was pinned back, so I scored max again. He was pinned back. He wasn't able to score max because he was behind on the primaries. So he only scored 4. So I was on... this is the one where you score extra points for having Galician veteran. So I had the Galician veteran on one of the things on the flank. So I was like 12 to his 10. And then the priority roll. I think if I got that priority roll, I could have then pushed through because I had hurt those Hearthguard berserkers. But then
was he running a 10 or a 15?
I think he had 2 15s.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. So I'd hurt both units. I hadn't wiped them out, and they had hurt me a lot as well. But then if I'd got the priority roll and then maybe got some buffs up that turn instead of the... Yeah, and then I also had the initiative on the fights, but instead he had the initiative, and he had one of those
Flamekeeper.
No, yeah, he had 2 of those lads, but he also had one of those things. What was it? The Galician command thing.
Yeah, the command entourage, not the command entourage. Galician command, yeah, the battalion.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, so he usually wasn't even clear off the trucks that he was in combat with in the hero phase, and then push out, and then actually threaten all my backline. So he's then able to clear out my general and all of that sort of stuff from there on. And then he just pushed into my army, and then won the following priority roll again, and then was able to like push on into my objective area and surround my shrine. So yeah, it was pretty much game over there.
Okay, all right,
So,
yeah. Fire Slayers feel like I feel like the Fire Slayers players are at the event. I mean, Fire Slayers have done very well in this version anyway. And I said last week, if you listened to last week's show, which I think was genuinely very valuable, I hadn't really thought about it, but Dan was like, "You've been at more of Age of Sigmar events than anyone in the past 6 months." I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck." Apart from maybe Tom Guan and Gavin and a couple of other tournament degens, but definitely been a part of quite a lot. And I said that I think the one drop's kind of dead. Taking all the different battalions gives you especially Fire Slayers, so much more. I know Dom, who's in the chat right now, he played recently with Fire Slayers with loads of different battalions. It's just so useful, right? Especially the Galician Command one.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, and they're proper tanky. That 4-up board is nasty. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, he was able to fight them. Obviously, that's at the start of the combat phase as well as start of the hero phase. So you're able to do that and then do a rally and then push on. So yeah, that was proper. Yeah, a good lesson in not just pushing on with your plan if the beginning part of the plan doesn't work. Probably should have modified it and just backed off. Let him come to me.
Alex is also a phenomenal player.
Oh yeah, he's a good player. So
yeah. So that's true as well. I think Fire Slayers are in a good position this GHB personally.
I don't know if they'll score big. I guess they do still. Yeah, depends on the matchup. So in that game, even he scored 28 to my 15. So I don't think that's a 20-0, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a 20-0 at all. Wait, 7-point difference? No.
No, it's 13-point difference, is it?
Still not a 20.
Yeah.
Still not a 20.
So.
Okay, amazing. All right, so then who's your third game? I think Fire Slayers, by the way, are great at the minute in the game.
Yeah.
Really solid. The double Flamekeeper stacking is crazy shit.
Yeah, so he had 2 Flamekeepers. They weren't next to each other for the stacking. But yeah, all of their the flexibility that they give you, it's a real techie army, I think. You have to be on the ball with all the different things that you can.
It's also quite,
all the options available to you.
It's also quite an opaque army. It's quite challenging to know everything they can do. And
Oh,
so
yeah,
they're going to catch you
yeah.
out quite a bit, I think. Not on purpose. I
No,
just
no,
think-
he explained it all at the beginning,
Yeah.
and so yeah. So the things that like stuck in my head was the countercharging thing is like, because I know from Iron Sons that is just
Devastating.
a game. Yeah, it's a game winner. That is. So
Yeah.
the fact that they've got that is crazy. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then who's your final Saturday night?
So
Who's...
Saturday I got to play Aiden.
Aiden's in the chat.
Yeah, who's an absolute gent, and yeah. We ended up going for a curry with him after. Actually, it was good. So he's from the Beasts of the East club, who are the guys that play at Imps over in Lincoln.
Oh, cute little imp fellas.
Yeah, they got cool club T-shirts and everything. Well, not T-shirts, like proper sports tops or whatever they are.
We've got club T-shirts.
Yeah.
But there's a cooler. Oh, there's cooler. That's okay to say.
Obviously not cooler. No, we can't.
They can be cooler.
They got loads of fire on theirs, though.
It sounds like, I know
They're
Aiden's in the
hotter.
chat. It sounds like Nathan's angling for a free top. Get at him.
No.
He is. Nathan wants
I've got
a
so many tops. Fuck off! I don't need it.
Get him a piece. And this is true for anyone. If anyone would like to follow at Nath Prescott on Twitter and send him a free top, let me know. All right? He wants that. He wants it.
Keep it to yourself. Yeah,
yeah.
no. So yeah, great. Yeah, so the guys from Imps are great, and obviously this was a great game. I got to play against Cruel Boys, who obviously aren't. Anyway, they're not at the top of the pecking order, shall we say? His army was quite cool though. He had two units of Bolt Boys that I had to stay away from because otherwise they'd hurt. But when I did get close to them, they didn't hurt anyway because his dice didn't have 5s or 6s on. So it was fine.
A classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them old classics. So, yeah.
It's pretty much like the top tier army versus the bottom tier army, that matchup.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately. And then just to double down on that, his dice were horrific as well. So, although I will point out my sneaky snufflers still kept on rolling 1s.
Okay, all right, good. You did win the game, though.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But still, little bastards.
Did you go out dancing Saturday night?
No, I went out for curry with the more sensible lads, and then by the time we got back, it was midnight. So
yeah,
just went to bed.
Yeah, plus
like
Leicester as a night out. Wait, no, it's not Leicester. It's Sheffield.
It's Sheffield. Yeah.
Oof.
I think the lads that went out had a great time. They went to somewhere that had a gig on, Corporation or something.
Corp. Yes. Yeah, Corp. Corp is the rock club. It's the rock city of Sheffield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the curry house we went to was really nice.
Oh, really?
And I sat next to Nick Thompson. I've never seen so many green chilies in one place.
Really?
I don't know how he's still alive, but he enjoyed them.
Plus, you must have been starving from lunch.
Yeah, I was scared of them. What was on his plate? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good game, but yeah, like
sorry.
bad dice, and then I managed to I got around the flank. He had deployed super defensive with his Bolt Boys, which I think he probably should have maybe put them more central. But it's the one where you can, with a weird L-shaped deployment, you can virtually deploy opposite. What's it called? Ours for the taking. You can deploy real close to their objective, and if
11
you take
inches
it,
apart. You actually technically start 5 inches from the opponent's objective.
Something like that. It's mad. And then you can just, So he deployed heavily on that flank to defend
On his own, yeah.
Yeah. And then he had like the gut rippers in the center with some kill bosses to go up and take the center, and because you get an extra point or something for the center, and then nothing really threatening my objective. And I had sort of deployed center and a bit on my home, and I thought about deploying heavily to take his objective, and then just went more central. So I went up and took the center, and then by the time he brought his bolt boys round to bear on me, I was then in range to take a round from them and then get into them. So I did that, got into them, and then once I got, and that left a hole. He had left a hole behind him then, so I dropped shooters behind him. They shot and then charged in. So I had him sort of surrounded, and I'd taken his home objective, and I had control of all the objectives basically. So yeah,
it's
pretty
like,
one-sided.
Yeah, I put that in 2 tournament packs now, and I don't think it'll be making it back. It's kind of interesting because it kind of negates the 1 drop. I think if you're really sensible and if you put like a big bit of impassable terrain or a garrison between their deployment zone, like the enemy deployment zone and kind of the home objective, and you do that on both sides, you create quite an interesting match, because then you kind of have to go around, or maybe you can't move quite a large like unit. Like I feel that's one that you specifically design a map for, and it'd be a very good battle plan. But when you just let someone put like, I don't know, 10 chosen opposite your opposing army, that's pretty rough.
But then then you should be able to deploy to counter them, because if they deploy their whole army into that flank to take your objective, and you then deploy your whole army to defend it, then you should beat them. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, I know what you're saying.
It's the first time I played it, so
I think some armies do like some armies like their weakness inherent in the army build. Fyreslayers is a good example. Is that they take a bit of a battering before they get to where they want to go. Just letting them drop chosen are a good example of something that does something similar. They can be fast, but you just put them right outside your opponent's objective. You pretty much
I
get
bet
the
the
drop on chosen.
Fyreslayers would love that scenario, because they can just deploy so close to where the enemy army is, and they know they're going to be they're in for a good time.
Yeah. Someone's just asked me what my favourite battle plans are at the minute. Definitely Jaws and Prize of Galette. Those two, they're both fantastic for me. And then, did you have a favourite battle plan over the weekend, Nath?
I don't know actually. If the battle plans, which one stood out? The first one, my army wasn't built for that with the Galician veteran thing, but it turned out all right. The position of the power one was quite interesting, because it forces people out wide.
With the 2 objectives on the flank.
Yeah, and then suddenly they disappear or something, don't they?
Yeah, they do. At the beginning of turn 4, they disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just 1 in the middle. Oh, no, 2 in the middle. Sorry.
2, yeah. I don't think I've got a favourite. No, I can't say I've played them often enough to have a favourite.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I personally don't think the one where you start 11 inches away is great, but I think Jaws is really good and Prize of Galette is really good because you're actively involved in that. But anyway, I went through those last week.
Yeah, Jaws last one. That's the one where you delete ones.
Yeah, it's the one where you delete one, and then Prize is the opposite, the one where you turn 1 on.
Turn 1 on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I don't know.
That wasn't in. That wasn't
I've
in
not played. No, I don't think I've ever played that one yet. So yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So then Sunday. Well, you've got to play a great battle plan on round 4. The Greased Up Goblin.
The Realmstone Cache. Yeah.
The Realmstone Cache. Yeah, I hate that battle plan.
Yeah. So this was a nuts game, absolutely mental. So I turned up and I was playing against Malcolm Price.
Yeah.
Who I think is fairly local to the area, somewhere there. And he had a unit of 4 dragons, 2 units of 2 dragons, and then the dragon hero, and then 2 like an incanter and another wizardy type dude, and then 5 little Stormcast dudes. So I got to play against the dragons.
Ah, yes, nice. All the Stormdrake Guard.
Stormgate Guard, and this is in Realmstone Cache, so it's the center objective. And I was like, I spent 15 minutes, 20 minutes trying to decide what battle tactic, because he gave me first turn.
Yeah.
He deployed on the line. Obviously, you're in a funny little deployment zone, aren't you? So I'm like, do I just go straight for the objective with everything? Or do I just put one thing on there and let him go onto it and then I counter? And it took me ages. Eventually, I decided just to put everything on the objective. So I just ran my army onto the objective, teleported the shooters up, and then ran everything up behind them. So I had the shooters, and then with the 2 units of trolls behind the shooters, and then all of the buff pieces behind the trolls, and then at the back, the Boingroff Bounders were at the back, within range of the Sneaky Snufflers, who had then failed the Sneaky Snuffler. So I was like, right, now I'm going to get hit by the dragons. So they can then move up, do all their shooting, and then charge in. So they do all of that, and then I'm like, and then they might get the double turn, in which case I'm probably screwed. Oh, the interesting thing was I had the shooters coming around and protecting my right flank. Then there was a piece of impassable terrain, but there was still a gap on my left flank, so I used the Gobbapalooza to screen out that flank.
Okay.
So, and they are probably the best screen in the game. I'll tell you that for free.
Wait, you screened your support unit
with the Gobbapalooza.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, before we do, I just want to thank Mamdare for donating 5 gift subscriptions.
Nice.
I know. He said we got to pay for this premium content, is what he said.
Yeah. So this was insane. So he charged in, he killed the shooters, and he put some hurt into the rock guts, but he wasn't able to get to the fell waters. So, but the fell waters still managed to do a stand and shoot onto the unit of 4 Stormdrake that charged into the center.
Yeah.
And then 2 into the side. His hero next to them, and then 2 came around the side and into the Gobbapalooza. So
2 Stormdrake Guard fought the Gobbapalooza.
Yeah. So, but I vomited onto the 4 in the center, drenched them in vomit, like all over the place. There were puddles of vomit everywhere.
Right, good, perfect.
It was great. And then, so then the rock guts were then facing basically they were facing 6 dragons, them and the shooters. So they took a right battering, but they killed a dragon and a half.
Okay.
And then there were like only 2 left, I think I only had 2 left. So, but I killed one of the dragons, and then he won the double turn. So I was like, I've been doubled by dragons.
That's pretty rough. Doubled by dragons.
This is proper tense now.
Yeah.
And the three in the middle are stuck on the rock guts. So I thought, that's all right though. They're stuck there, so they can't do anything. So, also the 2 that went to the Gobbapalooza.
Yeah.
Nothing. They didn't do it. They couldn't get through the Gobbapalooza.
They didn't kill the Gobbapalooza.
They killed one of the Gobbapalooza, I think.
Nathan, you told me earlier on you got some of them back when they died. Those are 2 Stormdrake Guard, the chosen of Sigmar, riding the Sons of Draconids. Dracon, whatever his name is.
But the Gobbapalooza are so whacked out at the beginning of the game on mushrooms that they can't feel anything. So a dragon can burn them, and they just don't feel it, and they're still there. Like dancing around, poking them with sticks, having a great time. So, yeah. So, because they start off with a 4-up ward save, don't they? The first round of the battle.
They do.
And they got 3 wounds each, so they survived. And then, but then he got the hero face shooting off and killed both of the rock guts just with the hero face shooting.
Whoa.
So that freed up all of his units. I was like, Then he shot Yeah, he did. He did loads of damage with the shooting phase. Then I think, yeah, he killed my Trog boss as well with the rest of the shooting, the normal shooting phase. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
my general was dead now.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, oh no, this is game over, because now he's going to fight me. But my Fell Waters had got the Sneaky Snuffler buff on them. I hadn't rolled a 1, so they had a 5-up ward save.
Yeah.
They also had a Mystic Shield on them, which I had, like, that. When I cast it, I'd be like, oh, I'll cast it onto rockets, but they weren't in range, so, oh, well, Fell Waters can have it. So they had Mystic Shield, Moonlight Hide, so they were basically on a 2-up armor save, 5-up ward save, and also they've got a big bobble of -1 to hit.
Yeah, they do.
Of 3 inches. So he charged them with the 3 dragons and his hero dragon dude. And then the other 2 dragons that then had killed the shooters flew around and charged into the flank of the Boingrot Bounders.
Right.
And then obviously the other 2 were still messing about with the Gobbapalooza. So then he had to activate first. And then, but when he charged in again, I vomited. But I vomited on. So he charged in with the hero dude.
Yeah.
So I vomited on him.
The Nitroconus.
So he was vomited on. The other guys were still vomited on because he had taken the double. So they were both like no armor and very, very stinky. Also, because I think I'd poisoned the vomit. So this is where it was getting real tense at this stage.
Yeah, it sounds tense, yeah. Okay.
And he did a grand total with 3 dragons and the hero dragon dude, the Knight Draconus. He did 2 wounds to the Fell Waters because of all the buffs that were on them. They were so tanky. They just shrugged it all off.
Yeah.
So obviously it activated them first into the Fell Waters. So the Boingrots turned around and just killed one of the dragons and like badly wounded the other one.
Yeah.
And then that dragon fought and killed a couple of Boingrots, but like only 2 or something like that. And then the Fell Waters just turned around and battered those dragons, like gave them a good hiding, and
the ones that are covered in sick.
Yeah. And then I had my turn, so then I just vomited on them again.
Yeah.
Like both, because I could pick both, so I vomited on the general.
Can you split the vomit attack?
Yeah.
Good.
Obviously not in the Unleash Hell, but now it's my shooting phase. So so I vomited 3 onto the general, 3 onto them, got damage, a little bit of damage through, and then like just finished the units off. So killed them off. The 2 dragons that were fighting the Gobbapalooza finally killed the Gobbapalooza.
Oh my God.
I don't think they did actually. I think the Gobbapalooza ran off then after that, and then I summoned 3 rock guts back through the shrine, and the Boingrots were freed up because they killed off the last dragon.
Yep.
And then we just went and killed the other dragons and the other little dudes that were running around on foot.
So just to be clear, I get this right, is the Stormdrake Guard double turned your army, and then you killed most of them in their double turn, and then you finished the rest off in your turn.
Yeah, something like that. In turn 2. So yeah, basically
in turn 2.
by turn 3, I managed to kill everything except for the 5 dudes that had stayed in the sky. So they came down and did a desk crate somewhere.
Perfect.
Came down, pissed on some terrain, and then so I ran over and killed them.
That's fucking rude. I can't believe they came down and did that. I got a couple of questions. Was the Stormcast player crying? Question mark.
No, he was real sound about it. Like, yeah, I was impressed. Like, he took it on the chin.
Okay, follow-up question. This is kind of like a little bit. So one of the things that we haven't talked about a lot is you can recycle units out of your shrine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but am I right in thinking that you can recycle units within, like, so normally when you deep strike or you do any sort of mechanic, you have to be 9 inches away.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the rules for recycling a unit out of the shrine?
Yeah. So when you do it, it's at the end of your turn, so you can't actually do anything with them when they come back.
Yeah.
So they have to be within 12 inches of the shrine and outside 3 inches of your opponent's army.
But not outside 9 inches.
No, it's outside 3. It's because they can't do anything. They just
That turn. Well, couldn't you get them out of the shrine and on an objective?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Huh. Oh.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah. But they can't. You can't like then attack with them or anything.
Oh, I know that.
So, yeah.
Just
you're gonna have a hero phase.
yeah, you're right.
Phase.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Fuck me, right? Like that's not even good.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a
Well,
twat.
it's yeah. I mean, if it was normal, like summoning, when it happens when you can then move and charge and stuff, then you'd want to be outside of 9, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's not summoning, is it? Yeah, you're right. Fuck me.
It is
useless.
summoning.
It's basically
reinforcing.
useless.
It's not useless.
No, it's
great,
useless. No.
But it is good. But the fact that it's only 3 away doesn't give you. It's no advantage there. Or like it's. I mean, unless you're saying for zoning out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But. Yeah. Well, in that case, you should be able to bring them back at the start of your phase as well as at the end.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Again, let's be clear. Fuck me.
I mean, it's the same rules that they were in the old book, and the old book wasn't like
Good.
winning games because of that, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you just put, like Dave says, you're just putting them out to immediately get killed again, so it's worthless. You're right. I apologize.
Yeah.
I could see some use maybe, but probably I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. It's the same amount of use that was in the old book, which was obviously they've always been top tier, so that's probably the reason why.
That's true. In Nathan's mind, these have got no better than they were previously. Just before we move on to Game 5, if that's okay, Nathan, I just want to say we got another Patreon. Jens Delstra has joined Patreon. How fucking cool is that? So 2 in a day. I don't know why.
Great.
That's great.
Point are insane.
Yeah,
they were insane in this. I mean, in that game, the Fellwaters were the masters of the field. They, like, that guy has gone home thinking that Fellwaters are the
strongest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a legit case for many, many Fellwaters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Especially if you got loads of sneaky snufflers to give them the ward save. Because then they're basically rock guts, but with more versatility. Yeah.
Do you think they might be better than rock guts?
They're about the same, because you do need the extra buff pieces for that's 5, but that 5-up ward save is super strong. And the rock guts just come with it. But then the vomit ability is so good, because it buffs not only the Fellwaters but everybody else that gets to have a fight against those lads. So.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like the Fellwaters are really decent as well.
Yeah.
Like.
They're great. The -1 to hit bubble being 3 inches is fantastic.
Yeah, especially like when you combine it with like netters or something. I'm going to ask you about some more Gitz lists at the end. Let's do Game 5 and then we'll round it off, because I think there's so much to unpack from this. Yeah. Mainly emotionally, Nathan.
Emotionally, I don't know about that. So I was on a 3-1, so I wondered what I'd be up against, and turned up I was up against Matthew from Manchester with his Karajon Overlords.
K-ho.
Yeah, so he had just beaten a Teclis with Karajon Overlords. He had battering ram Teclis to death with one of his ironclads.
Perfect. Like what a moment.
Weird ram thing. So I've not played Karajon
against them.
No. Yeah, I've not played against Karajon. I don't know. Last time I played.
They're legit.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily like S tier, but they're legit like AB tier. Like they've got some play, especially like if you take the right spells and stuff, which is a weird thing to say about dwarfs.
Yeah. So he had a 2 Ironclads and a spell in a bottle, and loads of Arcanauts, and then loads of characters. And the first thing the characters did was make my Boingrop Bounders 1/4 move. So I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be hard. But it only affects the move characteristic. It doesn't affect the fact that they can run. So I still get the auto 6. So I can 6 plus the little bits of movement that I get. And then, so it wasn't too bad.
That's fantastic.
But it was, pretty, that was pretty interesting. But so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And it was the Jaws of Gillet with loads of objectives all over the place. So I was like, oh, do I spread out or do I just stay together? I ended up staying together, and speaking to him afterwards, that was the right thing, because I think if I'd spread out, you would have been able to pick off pieces of the army.
Yeah.
But because I stayed in a fairly cohesive clumpy, he had come within range to do damage to me, but also I was controlling enough of the board. Also, so he gave me first turn. I did a desecrate and then controlled my objective in the center, and I didn't bother about the other objectives really. So he had a choice of 3. So he could only really go for 2. So he went for 2. And he wasn't too sure again what to do. So he went for the 2 and did his desecrate, but then obviously he was already a point down. And then I won the priority roll and felt like I was still in a cohesive enough formation, and he hadn't really done any damage to me. This is where he had tried to shoot the Gobapalooza again, who was screening out, because I thought they were the best screens ever. So they were zoning out the one side, and then I had a big line of shooters in the center, zoning out the center. So he couldn't really get into my main blob of dudes. And then, so in order for him to damage anything real important, he would have to come really close. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give you the turn, because I've heard that KO don't like being double turned. So I gave him the turn. So then he did some stuff. He did one of his book battle tactics where he had to climb in and out of boats and stuff.
It's so funny watching a KO player do it. They're like, listen, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna.
I'm just gonna get out.
This is 2 points. This is 2 points, but just ignore me.
I'm just gonna get back in the boat. So it was funny. So yeah, he did that. He was telling me, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll do one of mine then. So I did follow the moon.
Yeah.
Which was basically had the moon shine on me, because the moon was in the center of the board. So I did that. It was great. The moon was shining great. And also he had then had to move into range, so but he had screened out with some Arcanauts, so I charged the screen and I was real close to the boats, and then I won the turn.
There we go. That's the problem.
Then it was and then I was virtually 3.5 inches away from the boats, and I just won the turn. So
heartbreaking.
And I had the whole army. I think all I'd lost were the shooters. Yeah, because the Gobapalooza had survived their screening activities. This is where they were screening, so they were zoning out, but they were also in a piece of line of sight blocking terrain.
Okay.
But we had agreed that ships could still see them, so the ship tried to shoot them, didn't do anything. But that's when I found out that I couldn't cast spells out of the line of sight blocking.
That's when you found out.
So I was casting spells on myself, and then I climbed out. And did that thing. Yeah. And then did the double turn thing into the KO.
And killed him, I assume.
Found out that that is why they don't like being double turned. Everybody doesn't like it unless you're playing against dragons and you've got trolls.
And you can scream with a Gobapalooza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. Can you take more than one Gobapalooza?
Yeah.
Would you?
No.
How come?
Because it's nice taking other things too.
Sorry.
Yeah, some people are talking about taking them, but I just want to take all the other stuff as well. I don't want to just take Obapaloozas. I mean,
it's
they
all
are
just fun.
hilarious. So yeah, I just want to try all the other lists. I want to try Fanatics. I want to try everything. The Spore Splatters are great as well, by the way, especially if you're fighting a castle and dragons are there. Because everything had +1 attack when they were fighting the dragons.
Yeah, because in AOE. All right, so I'm gonna. So obviously, is there anything you would take out of the list?
Well, like I said, probably everything, so I can try the other stuff. But that list is a fun list. It's quite versatile. It could maybe go 5-0. The trolls are fairly slow compared to the Boingrot Bounders.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to. But if you get the buffs off from the Boingrots, you can sort of wang them into anything, and they'll probably survive that long enough for the trolls to catch up and then batter whatever's left.
Okay, all right.
Because you could give them a Mystic Shield, so there'd be a 3-up save with a 5-up ward save.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and the trolls are not. Yeah, their movement's 6. They're not terribly slow. So.
No.
Yeah, you could. So you could, like, if you like, oh, I'm going to wang the Boingrots in, and then I'm going to run both these units of trolls up behind them, but I'm going to use my Speaky Skull Fetish to make them both move 6. So then it's 12.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 12. So they're right behind, and then they whenever you get next turn, then yeah, you're in to whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So that you said that there are loads of other lists. Do you think, like, obviously Dan won the event with a Gitz army as well.
Yeah.
But you lost one of the games. Would you say that, like, under a good pilot, they're a strong army?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you say that are there any like other builds you want to try?
Yeah, so I think the pure squig army, like Dan's, is more of a pure squig army, and I think that's very, very strong because it's got the mobility and it's got high damage, and just because of the sheer number of wounds in the units, well, and also the access to 5-up ward saves, means that they are quite durable as well, very durable in some cases. So
yeah.
Okay,
interesting. I saw Spiders play here recently, so Kieran played Spiders here, and then it was really funny to see that Scuttle Boss deleting. He killed a Gash in one go at one point. It's pretty phenomenal. The Celestin Prime. Got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would like to try the Spider side. I think that's probably a bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But you have got the speed, but I don't know if you got the damage on them, as much damage. And obviously very little survivability on them.
Yes, true. Are you strictly like a mixed arms guy, or would you be interested in playing Trogs, Spiders, Squigs, or is this more like of a tapas army where you just can't? You're like, no, I'm not just going to the steakhouse. I need all of it.
I want loads of little bits. At the moment, I like King playing with bits, so I'm interested in playing the more grotty side as well as I'd be interested in playing the Spider side, but I do think there's some crazy janky lists on the grot side. So I've got a list of using the Bad Snatchers.
Ooh.
So that's the wizarding faction, and teleporting units around with fanatics inside, and also using endless spells to do damage at range. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
So, obviously, there's some magic doms that they come up against that will be a struggle, but I think against other guys. So, like, obviously, there's Tzeentch are quite good at dispelling, aren't they? If they've got a lot of change, the Gash is good at dispelling. The Techless and them only get +1 to dispel, is it?
He has one auto unbind a turn.
One auto unbind, but then it's just +1 to unbind, isn't it?
He might get a reroll as well, you know. Like, he definitely gets +1, but like there might also be a reroll.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Bad Snatchers might be able to do stuff against that because there's a volume of spells in that as well. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Volume of spells.
And they've got spell ignores as well. So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like the. I would like to see that Fanatics with Magic combo list. That'd be interesting.
Yes.
Might play that next, or I might run out the spiders as well. I keep looking at the box that I've got all my spiders together, and it looks cool. And I've put them in the same box as I've got 3 ale guzzlers, and that looks awesome because it's just like big lads with loads of little spiders running around their feet.
That's fun.
It does look pretty cool, like as an army. So
that is really fun. I like the skitter strand now with the deep strike, then move away. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, the move away. Oh, he can deep strike away from people, can't he?
Yeah.
Like a fade thing. Yeah.
That's pretty fun. So, like, because what's fun, it seems, about the Gitz book more than anything is it obviously sounds very strong, but also, most importantly, it sounds like lots of the builds are viable, and that's actually super exciting, right? Because, like, there's been a lot of classism in Age of Sigmar for many years. Well, of course, the upper class elves getting all of the special rules. So it's nice to see the proletariat Gitz get their day in the sun. Yeah. Are you feeling very happy with it all, having done and also kind of follow-up question? How do you feel about the new battle pack? Did you ever cast the realm spell?
No, I didn't ever cast that. It's only 12 inches, so it's actually fairly short range.
It is.
So no, I've not cast that spell yet. The battle pack, yeah. So I have only played a couple of games in that battle pack, and this was the first. I only managed to get one practice game in with the Gitz book as well. So I was a little bit. It was all a bit of a learning experience. It was good though. I enjoyed the games. Yeah, I didn't have any bad games.
Yeah, good. Well, that's it.
They were all great, like proper. Yeah, I'm proper happy from the weekend. Obviously, going 4-1 is super cool, but all the dudes were great, like opponents and everything was cool.
Oh my God. Thanks to the Dark Lord Cheese of Lambert for donating £1.50 on Patreon. Yes, let's go. Well, Nathan, listen, I'm super glad that you had a good time because you're my friend and I love you to bits. And the very concept. Joe Pagano rang me the other day. I was in bed last night and he rang me and he was just like, Rob, these Gitz, they're fucking mental. And I was like, you're right, Joe, they are.
They're insane.
Yeah,
they're
and then
insane.
he was like...
Especially the squigs. Yeah. It's insane.
And then Joe was just like, but I don't even mind. He's like, I'm just going to go to events and watch little destruction players just take everyone's toys off with Gitz. And I'm like, yeah, what a great time to be alive. And I was like, me too, Joe. I was just tucked up in bed watching the results come in. I was like, do you know what? Look at us. Look at us. Yeah? Who'd have thought? I'm so happy. Like, I think it's really exciting to watch the Gitz perform and maybe overperform. We don't know yet. We haven't got enough results. Yeah. I think it's a bit of a shame that for the Gitz that you've ended up with like someone like of Dan's caliber being able to utilize that army so quickly because it kind of puts like a bad impression, I think, out there. Like that maybe this is a bit heavy-handed. Like it's a really good army, but it is a really good army. I think that's a little bit undeniable that it's a really good army.
Oh, it is a good army.
It might be too good.
If you look at the I don't know, like the range of scores at Sheffield, I think there was obviously the 5-0 and a 4-1. I don't know. Were there any other 4-1s from Gitz?
There was another 4-1 from Gitz. At Sheffield, and then there was another, or there might have not been, but there was another event somewhere else in the world.
But I mean, there were like 10 players there, and I'm pretty sure there were a few 3-2s and 2-3s, and I think there was even a 1 No? So it's fair range across.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's literally would be exactly what I would say about it. There was one other event won by Gitz this weekend. Out of the 5 events that we had, or 4 or 5 events, and there was a couple more. In fact, actually, hold on, I can tell you exactly.
So there were 2 5-0s then.
There were 2 5-0s with Gitz this weekend, and then there were 5 4-1s with Gitz this weekend.
Oh wow, that's a big turnaround.
Yeah, they were the highest performing faction from the weekend.
Really?
But then Lumineth had 2 5-0s as well. So that's important to know. Then there were 5 4-1s with Stormcast, 4 4-1s with Ogres. Thanks very much to Rob for sending me this all, by the way. Shout out to Rob because he pointed this out from the weekend. So this is really cool stats.
Yeah.
21 factions, 21 of 27 factions went 4-1 or better this weekend.
Wow.
Right?
That's great. Yeah.
And then the only 6 factions that didn't were Seraphon.
What? What? Well, it's a good thing they're getting the new books. They need those buffs, don't they?
Exactly. Sinesh, Soulblight, Caradron, Bone Splitters, and Big War. And Big War and Bone Splitters are just the same army, right?
Yeah.
So, sure, times have changed. Seraphon in the bin. But also,
that's crazy that Gitz are there and Seraphon aren't.
Who'd have thought, eh? Look at us. Look at us. Who'd have thought? Look at us. But 21 factions of 27 is pretty incredible, right?
Yeah. I don't suppose you got win rate for the weekend.
Not yet. We don't have any of that yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, stuff like that could be put together, but I legitimately think it would be more of a problem to talk about it than...
that's just killing us.
And also, if I can be super fair about it, a lot of people at those events, it will be their first event
time with the box,
with the GHB. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, with that, yeah, that's true as well. It's a different game. Yeah.
Definitely. So different game, different battle tactics, grand strats, and all that stuff. And sure, there are 2 new books in effect, but I legitimately think the biggest takeaway from the weekend is probably the new book, the new GHB was in effect. So, I'm calling a mulligan on kind of some of the info, and I'm just trying to read the tea leaves. And I think, do you know what? Just let everyone have a good time for a couple of weeks before we start talking about anything too serious. My opinion.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed the scenarios. To be fair, I don't think there were any that felt terrible. I felt like I was up against it in the one because I didn't have enough Galician veterans, but then that's my own fault. It's a Galician veteran.
Did they announce the missions beforehand?
They did, but not before the list building stage.
Oh well, that's no. What? No.
So
because they could have put 5 Galician champion missions in.
I think but everybody knows that Galician champions are a thing anyway. If you want to do battle tactics, but there was that mission that the one that you needed them, but it was fine. Obviously, it worked out fine. So
I personally think just because I think Galician champions can be quite game changing, I wouldn't mind Tio's putting the missions.
Oh yeah,
first.
I don't think it hurts. Yeah.
But that's me. Anyway, Nathan, thanks for the electric story. I've loved listening to it. It's been very fun. If you've been listening back, asking Nathan all these questions has been a delight of mine.
Yeah, after finding out what good screen the Gobbapalooza are, I think I always had my sneaky snufflers at the back, and in future I think I'll put them near the front. I think they should also be a screen.
Why? Because of the ward save.
Yeah, they've got ward save as well. So get them in the front line, and then they're in range to do more buffs later on in the game as well, because they can't move if they're doing their buffs. So
So you're just going to be way more aggro with your army, is what you're telling me?
With my sneaky snufflers and my Gobbapalooza. Yeah. Okay. They're going to the front line, lads. Get on the front lines.
I'm just trying to pick up me truffles. Get to the front. Yeah, straight in there.
Get on the front line.
All right. Well, listen, if you've been watching the show, and then thank you to everyone, especially Nathan Prescott. Round of applause for Nathan Prescott, please, in the chat. And if you listen to the podcast or the YouTube comments, a load of love for Nathan Prescott. Don't forget to add him on Twitter and send him a shirt. That'd be super fun of you. Nathan, you got any shout-outs you want to make?
I obviously shout out all my opponents from the weekend. That was thank you for making it a good fun weekend, and my roommate Nick Thompson. That was very kind of him to let me share his room and watch him eat that many chilies and somehow survive. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks, Nate.
And also the guys that organised the tournament. They were Sam and Liam.
Well done, lads.
And whoever helped them. Oh, and that private detective. Can't wait. I hope you get loads and loads of customers. That was fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, love that. That's brand new for me. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, we do an HC One Monday show every Monday at 7 p.m. UK time, so GMT on Twitch, so you can join us if you want to. Thanks very much for hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed it.